Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and it's rant day. Okay, so it's a Saturday. We've made it. It's the weekend. I hope that you guys are all enjoying yourselves. But today's a bit of a rant. Why? Because Konami, what were you doing? Did you guys bother to look at what you gave away in the Battle City Finals, or did you just go, it could be our last set. Let's make it a banger. Um, Honestly, there are too many cards I feel like just over centralize everything immediately. And they have to see some sort of ban list reduction immediately. First and foremost, biggest offender, guys. Really? You're going to give us Monster Reborn. Literally, there is no cost to this card. It is targeted monster in your graveyard, special summon it. The only card that really stops this is, well, okay, I mean, obviously DD Crow can do his job. Necro Valley is probably another one of those cards that stops this, and again, it's just one of those crazy cards. I would have much rather seen you give us Premature Burial, which you did. Weird flex there to give us both. I mean, I get it. Monster Reborn was necessary for like the Merrick strategy with the Millennium Revelation, I think it was. But you could have just given us Premature Burial. And even this is even still crazy. I mean, I get it. Pay 800 life points, but then target a monster in your graveyard, special summon it back in attack mode. The only good thing about this is if this card gets destroyed, destroy the monster. This becomes like a very tragic equipment. So things like Breaker, MST, Cosmic Cyclone. Well, maybe not Cosmic Cyclone. It does say if this card is destroyed, not banished. Maybe I'm thinking about Galaxy Cyclone instead. Breaker, the Magical Warrior, Dust Tornado, insert another half dozen effects. This is way more fair, but it would still require getting limited down to maybe the twos. Monster Reborn, like this is almost as bad as when you guys gave us I think it was My Precious Queen for Weevil Underwood, and just immediately had to ban the skill. Like, it was the first actual, like, you guys aren't even allowed to touch this card. This card's too good. We shouldn't have made it, so why did you make it? It's like you guys don't play test. But I mean, I kind of get it. Premature Burial, it's got a cost. Should not have been released alongside a Monster Reborn. That is probably one of the worst, absolute worst power creeps I've ever seen. Like, it's like putting a Five Guys burger next to a McDonald's single. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Quaking Mirror Force, okay? I'm not saying this is going to go to 1. I'm not saying this is going to 2. I'm saying this is probably going to the 3s. And the problem I have with it is Floodgate Trap Hole, but worse. The timing, the activation timing is what does this for it. This does make it so that the opponent does have to declare an attack, but before you can declare an attack, remember there's a bunch of actions that can be taken. We could activate cards like Night Beam, Cosmic Cyclone, MST, Breaker again, Dust Tornado, and we could just summon the cards in. Like Chiron, the Mage, and Breaker can be summoned in order to deal with this if it's the only back row card. It's either a simple discard or a removal of a spell counter away. And we don't even get to try to respond. Whereas Floodgate Trap Hole would at least stop those two in their tracks and put them face down. It does affect more than one card, because right now I don't think, outside of maybe some of the Dark World cards that were added, I don't know that there's any way to really special summon more than one monster card at a time at the moment. And so again, like what Floodgate Trap Hole could excel at, Floodgate Trap Hole does not excel at right now. Quaking Mirror Force has the opportunity to down 3 cards. So again, it's a matter of timing versus effect power. I do think it has the stronger effect power, but I think the timing is what like really kills it. Konami might leave this one alone because they understand the interaction speeds, but really it should be considered for the 3-ups. Another card I'm surprised to see in here, and I'm surprised we didn't get something like Emergency Provisions at the same time, was the Mirage of Nightmare. A card so powerful. We've had to ban this for well over a decade in the advanced format of the game. And again, like, there's just no excuse. Every time I played this during the one times tournament, I was able to get the MST and like show off just how quick plays work, which was nice. It was a good illustration for anybody who was maybe a little unsure if that tactic was a thing. But yeah, I feel like emergency provisions would have set this way over the top, because there's no way Konami's going to go, oh, emergency provisions? Yeah, we better limit that, like we did Mystical Space Typhoon. I don't personally see that happening. But to their credit, this is probably going to go to like the ones. Again, it's able to draw you up to 4 cards, depending on what you do with your hand. And if you have a deck that really does like to overextend, and you do have the ability to play multiple quick plays, because remember, Cosmic Cyclone could still be played. MST could still be played. MST shouldn't be allowed to be played with Mirage of Nightmare. I would think that the Cosmic Cyclone route would be better. It's more fair. You're going to make the player have to pay the 1,000 life points. I'd say this is a comfortable one of. I really do think that. Which is crazy. Another card that's going to help us like just waste resources and waste time. Swords of Revealing Light. Not only did we get this, we got this like so many times, guys. We got 2 decks had this. I think it was Yugi and Odeon or something. And again, 3 turns. 3 turns may not feel like a lot. But again, we've been playing a lot of like Time Wizard format right now on this channel. So between me and Celestial, we both play this card because we both understand that in those time periods, where LOB is in existence before Magic Ruler, Spell Ruler exists, like this is kind of a go-to card. This is going to waste some time, especially if you're trying to play something like Exodia, which for some reason they gave us Destiny board, but they won't give us Exodia. Make that make sense, which is weird. But the swords, it's a good 3 turns of just not doing anything. Now, to their credit, there are a lot of cards in the format right now that can deal with this. Probably a comfortable 3 of. I don't think it's as oppressive to get to 2s. Certainly isn't a 1 of. Not like the next 2 cards, I think. And the first of those is going to be the Tribe-Infecting Virus. So, number 1, I love this. So, first off, I'm going to go buy me a stack of these off of TCG Player, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's because I need common reprints, because once we get to where this is released into the Time Wizard time periods, this is a necessary card. And it doesn't look like they changed the effect at all from when I was a kid playing this. Discard a card, declare a monster type, destroy all monsters on the field with that type. And again, we're getting to that point where like archetypes are a thing. You guys see how much I love Gravekeepers. My wife is in love with not only the Amazoness cards, she absolutely adores Harpies. So again, you're talking Warrior, Winged Beast, Spellcaster. Anything Kaiba is going to be like mostly machines or mostly dragons. This guy just really, really helps like destroy boards, especially if he gets paired off with cards like Swords of Revealing Light, or something else that we kind of have in the format right now is Sinister Serpent, which again had to be errated in order to be allowed back into the main portion of the game, because that was a big strategy. You'd play those 2 cards in combination, because once per turn you discard the Sinister Serpent. Next standby phase, you just go ahead and get it back in your hand. So as long as Tribe-Infecting Virus survived that turn, you're doing like a lot of good stuff. The other big one that like this actually agitates me a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it and I hate this at the same time. Is Infection. Been playing a little bit of Magic the Gathering. I do play Atraxa. I'm that guy. Sorry. But the Injection Fairy Lily. And again, Injection Fairy Lily, like a really cool card, but kind of like a real thorn in anybody's side in Speed Duel, because number 1, right now, this is a 3 of. At the time of me filming this, there's been no ban list. This is a 3 of, and with no restrictions. And once per battle during the damage calculation, if it battles, which again, it's I'm guessing could be a direct attack because that's how it's always been. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, guys, clarify. Let me know. If you guys make this feel more fair to me, that's great. But if it battles, it means it's in my head. The attack is connected. You can pay 2,000 life points for this to gain 3,000 attack. This is speed duel. We start with 4,000 hit points. You're telling me I'm going to be down to 600 because you do this. And then I'm at such low hit points, I don't even get a premature burial? Really? Which is kind of wild, really. Because this is like almost a non-existent card. I've won and lost entire matches based on this card. Yeah, it's just kind of goofball. And the fact that you could just pay half your life points to take well over 3/4 of your opponent's hit points in one move, that is phenomenal. That is astounding. Instant one of, instant one to none. 1 or 2, 3, 1, 3. Maybe 2 because you just don't want to see 9 turns of a player's game being skipped, because that could just be like super frustrating, especially in a format where you only have like 20 cards in your deck. That 9 is like half the game you're doing nothing. So you might, out of just like decency, put swords to 2. And this is just like a small sampling. There are other cards that, again, I feel like are getting crazier and crazier. But there's a lot of cards that I feel when you actually take a step back and you look at them, they don't do what you think they do. But this like dirty half dozen, the 7 cards of slaughter here, like these are a bit much. And I really do think like we could have balanced this out. Like we did not need the Monster Reborn this early, but I get why you did it. You wanted to play Millennium Revelation. You kind of wanted it because it's like an iconic card. Cool. But like with Premature Burial, like there's no contest right now. Until there's a ban list, you're not playing this, except like that one weirdo like me that's going to play Mahavilo and goes, yeah, well, I could just bring it back and already have it equipped, which means it's already up to 2,050 points. As opposed to just playing Monster Reborn and playing the strategy from there and being able to get your opponent's cards. It means that one of the strongest decks right now is actually going to be playing like a menagerie of all of this. But with older cards in order to make the whole thing pop. I still think Gravekeepers are like the most powerful deck at the current moment, but like this is something that will be addressed. I will guarantee at least half of these get nerfed in some way, shape, or form with the ban list, because there's a lot of power sitting here. That's my point. On the plus side, I'm not really upset that much because really what we have is we've got these wonderful, cool reprints. So if you're collecting old cards or if you're trying to do your own Time Wizard format or you're trying to make a draft format, these cards are amazing. Tribe-Infecting Virus, I can't tell you the last time I'd seen that reprinted, but it's been a minute. Same thing with Lily. Like, these are really cool reprints. Quaking Mirror Force has always been a fun one. Mirage of Nightmare hasn't been printed in a while. So, like, again, from, like, a collector standpoint, just somebody who's putting together different formats, this is a great box. Like, honestly, not super upset. It just does feel like it's doing too much for the meta. So, that's my video. Hopefully, you guys get the happiness that's actually behind it. I'm not super bad. It is a little weird. But tell me what card frustrated you to see it in the card pool for this format. And then also tell me if you think I'm wrong on any of these. That said, you guys have a wonderful day. I hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves still. It's New Year's. Got to focus on the new you, okay? Always improve. Remember, if you improve 1% a day, you're 365% better by the end of the year, right? Come on. Let's do it together. I'll see you guys next video, all right? Later.